Highest I ever had. I think it was way back when I was like really pushing it.
Probably about, I don't know,
I
over
can't
20.
remember. Something like that. Highest I ever had. I think it was way back when I was like really pushing it. Yeah. Yes, you can hear you. Okay, for a second I thought I couldn't hear you. I was like, oh, why? Why?
The game volume down a bit.
Yeah, make
Spent
sure.
less time the game was a little
Someone just clapping.
usually for a crowd.
Of course. Right, I'll turn everything down to like 20. I might seem a bit excessive, but or maybe I'll put the sound effects at 35, dialogue at like 25.
He's laughing at me. It's because I'm Santa.
I have one dance, that is it. I have barely anything in this game. I didn't play it enough.
You're 290 and I'm 291, so you can't.
Yeah, that's literally just because I got shit gear and then just optimized it to be as high as possible. Old James was a lazy asshole.
Yeah, shit gear. That was it. Just do.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's fine. I only want to get to the top
Completely
gear score. Actually, what have we got? What's on our weekly list?
Yeah, I could be a higher gear score, but then my ear wouldn't synergize enough.
Yeah. So there's a Sergeant History over here on the weekly one that get one gear set.
Hopefully my internet doesn't whack out.
Just pause the stream. Right. Oh, hi Sean. Hi Ivan. Joe, something funny that came to me the other day. I was like looking through my games and I came across Beyond Two Souls and I was like, Christ, I remember playing that and I kept calling him Ivan. And you were just like, it's not me, stop fucking saying my name. I was like, sorry, I can't help
Ivan, it's Iden.
It's Ivan, you bastard.
Ivan, help me out here.
I was like, Ivan, come and just help me here, man.
Alright, I'll be the soul that watches over you.
Ah, Fear Supply were best friends.
Oh, you said it.
Right, I think you get, I can get gear sets from daily ones as well. But it's the target intel, like, I have to keep collecting it. I got 35.
I got 33. What?
I think it's because I have jumped on this, like, I jumped on it quickly the other day as well, didn't I? Oh, fuck yeah. Just a lot of gibberish. Hi, Vic.
Hello.
We're gonna get into the actual podcast at about the 10-minute mark, so we still got about 7 minutes or so.
Get into the meat and bones of it.
Yeah. The fun topics that we got lined up for today. A lot of good things, actually. A lot of good things. Not many bad things.
You sound like Trump then. A lot of good things.
A lot of good things are gonna happen. You know, we're gonna be talking about some premium quality.
Good about it.
It's fucking. Oh, it's so bad. Right, okay. I'll just put the Hunter one on because he's like the highest one on the daily ones. So we'll go and do him in a bit. Where is he hiding? I'm trying to remember how to do this stuff as well.
Oh, he's down below us.
Right, yeah, I see. High value target.
Pamphlets and...
God, yeah, I can't remember, like, anything.
that makes a change.
It's quite nice, actually. It's refreshing to come on to this and be... Like, I don't know what I'm doing in Division, except in this one I'll actually feel like I'm making progress, whereas in Division 2, well, we'll get into that.
Oh god, not again.
Not again! No, I actually have different stuff on that this time. Some good, and some bad.
Yeah.
But different. So it's not so negative, but...
A little bit of sprinkle.
I try my best.
Oh, I miss old Isaac, even though I've not changed.
Oh god. I miss just playing this one, to be honest.
Yeah, because he actually could have just kept on updating the old one.
Yeah, well,
More
what I'm
expansion.
hoping, well, yeah, with Division 3 is they'll keep sort of keep the second game's format, but just improve. Improve!
Hell yeah.
Do you reckon Robin's sleeping?
Oh yeah. Hangover.
Poor Robin.
Everyone looks super happy.
I'm not even going there. I am not
Gonna comment.
even going there.
No comment. Great party.
I'm sure they had a great time after it, but just in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
moment, they were just they looked a little bit put off.
I suppose it'd be the same with any of our quizzes.
Yeah, true.
One of us is going to look unhappy.
Although I don't know, now maybe not so much. Although yeah, saying that, it depends how tired you are. If it's like right at the end, then yeah, you probably are going to look a bit tired because answering questions for a few hours.
I have what's called a resting bitch face. Very common. And it makes you look extremely unhappy all the time, but I'm actually feeling good inside.
It's like, I'm happy, but your face doesn't show it. Oh, thanks.
Maybe I'll get a facelift or something.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need a facelift. You're fine. Don't be so mean to yourself.
Botox? Yeah. I'll get the fat pumped out of my ass and into my
You're going to do a Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, she did the other way around.
Oh, yeah, true. She had everything pumped into her, but...
Yeah.
God, that cannot be pleasant. Who would want to do that?
Actually, I'm not that thick anyway. So.
I got them thick thighs. Thick thighs, motherfucker.
There goes the PT right there.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not even going to attempt to make the podcast a PG rating. I think that would just make me bored. That's never going to work.
PG rating is not you.
Yeah, definitely not. Anyone that's had a conversation with me knows that.
Anyone who's within a mile radius of you.
Yeah, you just hear James before you see him. What do you mean? Fuck, shit, bastard, wanker!
You've heard about James before you see him. He's like a myth.
The myth of the thorn. Oh. Come on, stick your head out, friend.
A legend of Wales.
I would beg to differ. Oh shit. Are they underneath me? Yeah. Whew.
I think they're going to have some spicy moments on here.
Yeah, definitely. I actually think that I might go back to playing this one and then only go back to the second one for the invasions and stuff. Just to kind of keep my account active and just get them done so I can at least try to do something with that account.
Yeah.
Woo! Ow. I forgot we got like a little box now as well, haven't we, for healing.
Yeah.
It's not a drone anymore.
You put mine down actually. Yeah.
Yes. How you doing though, Vic? You okay? You happy?
Oh god.
It's like I was until I heard your voice. I feel like the turret's more effective in this one.
Yeah. I don't know how the whole 3 years of balancing this worked out for him. I know I can't aim for shit.
I know. I have to. It's like a learning curve to have to aim in this game again, because the second one is so like. I don't know why it's so different, but it is. Yapper's happy. Ah. Good. Good. Sure.
Yellows are harder.
They are. And we're on World Tier 5 now, so...
No more easy time.
It's just more grindy. That's all. It's not too bad.
Yeah, have my box.
Yeah, have my boost.
What about that?
Oh, shit.
Oh god, even more all over the place.
Oh!
You said my volume dead, actually.
Yeah, it's quite loud. Not you, like mine as well, I mean. I'm not like, I can hear yours from here, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh god, Hunter's underneath us.
Ooh,
why am I so low on health? Bloody hell. Right, Hunter's gonna come up and try and say hello to us. Cause you're clap. Oh shit. Watch out on your left. There he is.
Holy hell.
Oh my goodness.
It's alright. I think his down is gone.
There's the other one. Oh god, I'll be glad to fucking... Oh, there's a gear piece. Cool. It's probably not one that I'm going to be able to use right now, but it's a start.
There's a lot of gear in this.
Yeah, true.
So the chances of you getting exactly what you want are very slim.
Yeah.
But that's
although, on a higher difficulty, slightly better. Because when I do get what I want, it's more likely I'll keep it.
Yeah.
Although I'll probably keep all the gear sets that I get now, except for... if they're double or something, I'll just keep the better version. Oh, right.
Beautiful.
That actually went quite well.
Do you think we should get started on this?
Yes, I was going to say. So, hello to anybody that is watching this on Spotify. Believe it or not, the podcast is actually on Spotify now. Just type in the Mind of a Madness podcast and it'll come up on there. Thank me later.
Yeah, been busy behind the scenes making a little... one of our friends, Robin, has made a little logo for us.
So, a big shout out to Robin. Thank you very much for doing that for us. I've got a few ideas that I haven't bounced off Sean yet, so I will do that with you privately. Behind the scenes. That'd be great. For more ideas for logos and stuff. But, yes, welcome. Thank you very much for joining in and listening. This podcast was made basically just to have a bit of fun and enjoy yourselves as well. If you're watching this on Twitch, slightly underneath you'll notice the logo for this podcast, and you can simply click that and it'll take you to the Spotify page as well.
Very professional now.
Yes, except for the only thing that isn't professional is the people in it. That's it. But yeah, otherwise, very, very, very professional. So I'll start it off. How are you doing, Sean?
I think it's always important to ask each other how we're doing at the start of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Good.
I feel free this week.
Ah.
I don't feel as restricted with this whole lockdown. I think
good.
we're all learning to just do as we're told, as long as it's working.
It's like, as long as we see progress.
As long as the progress demands sacrifice.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. I've had a bit of a strange one this week. Because there was some family stuff, but it wasn't bad stuff, it was good stuff, so that was always nice. Obviously, Robin being very kind and generous and making that logo for us was really cool. So yeah, it's been a good week, man. I can't grumble. Actually, apparently I've done 14% of the underground. Sorry.
Excuse
I'm
me.
gonna keep getting distracted. People who are like listening to us on Spotify are like, what the fuck's he talking about? Underground. Sorry, we're playing Division 1, by the way. But yes, no, very, very good week. Very productive. Very good. Lots of stuff happened.
Lockdown is still obviously a very prevalent subject at the moment.
It is. There's
probably interesting to talk about that one a little bit.
Yeah, dive into that a little bit, learn a bit more about how we're going with it and stuff.
The big thing that happened this week was apparently we reached the peak of the virus.
Yeah.
So it's not the peak of tackling the virus, it's the peak of just this outbreak in general, I suppose, in this country, the UK. It
was a very interesting outcome, I'll be honest. Because to be fair, I think we all saw it was gonna improve.
Kind of get to this stage.
yeah, it had to get better, but it was just how quickly were we going to get here, and I think we've actually arrived here in a pretty good time. Although I do think, and this is a genuine question, do you think that maybe people are, maybe not taking it as seriously now that information's great and all, but do you think people are not going to listen to the rules as much now because they're like, oh, it's the peak, it's fine?
A certain minority of people will always see that as like, oh, right, we've got past it now, so it can just return back to doing whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the people who are doing that probably have already started doing that in the past few weeks anyway, so there's always going to be a minority of people, I think. The majority of people are being good about it. And only flouting the rules when absolutely...
You have to say it exactly how he would say it, and it has to be done with exact invigoration.
Yes. That's my podcast voice. Boris Johnson.
It's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful podcast voice.
I saw something on social media like about us being at the peak. It's almost like a slide. So we've climbed up the slide. We're at the top now. So there's no point in us jumping off because we'll break our legs.
Yeah.
We've got to stay safe and go down the slide very slowly and gradually.
Yeah. Well, I think that was something that also got mentioned in the daily update, wasn't it? It was something along the lines of, it's great that we are where we are, but if we start releasing the pressure for like the rules and stuff now, we're going to hit a second peak. Which my next question was going to be, do you think that might actually happen? Of course, this is all speculative. None of us want that to happen, of course, but because of how this country is kind of acting, and we'll get into that in a bit, on like news and stuff that's been going on with people not listening to the rules as such or whatever. But with everything going on, do you think that people are going to take it as a sign to just be a bit more laid back? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think there will. Well, there will be some people who do that. As far as will there be a second peak? I'd say it's about 50-50 because in winter that's when normal flu would be most prevalent anyway. And obviously this virus doesn't cope well with sunshine and UV rays and warm weather and stuff like that. Yeah. But what will it be like in cold weather when everyone's kind of a bit suppressed in that way, and there's no kind of warm weather to stave it off a bit? So I don't know. I mean, I feel like there could be, but I'm hoping there isn't. But it depends on how people are treating this whole situation.
Definitely, yeah.
What do you think?
I agree with you. I think 50-50. I think to be honest, it comes down to really, doesn't it? If people are going to take these rules seriously enough. If people take them seriously enough, we listen to the rules, we carry on doing what we've been doing, we'll be fine. We'll continue to decline, and eventually this virus will subside enough for life to go back to normal. The problem is are people going to listen to it? It's 50-50. As you said, it's impossible, I think, to tell fully right now because people are very hit or miss. Yeah, they're very hit or miss on whether they wanna take it seriously enough. So I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a scary time. People are like, oh, we've got past the worst of it. I think, and it's my opinion, I think that we're actually at the most critical point, which is, I think, something Boris actually said when he came back into office, was this is the most dangerous point now. Because of...
It's important not to break our ethics about it.
Yeah, because, obviously we could go backwards, so it's... Would you agree with that sentiment, that it's probably at the most dangerous point now, because it's like so people could get so calm about it when actually we should probably be more on top of it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like right at the start was probably one of the most important, and this time now when it's kind of going down, it has the potential to get crushed a little bit. That's probably the most important time.
Yes.
The next important time will be when we're kind of over this and starting to get into real world again.
Yeah, I've actually got some news and stuff on stuff that might be happening soon. Through my auntie and her job as a teacher. So some stuff that we'll talk about there as well. Vic did leave a comment. She said, I read today that schools, salons and shops may open next month. Plans and preparations being made. Now, that's actually what I was going to talk about. Let's get that in there. I was talking to my auntie, who is, I believe, an assistant school teacher. And according to her, there are plans and preparations in place to actually reopen schools and stuff again. Now, do you think, and this is mainly for, I think she said, people who are 14 years and over, because they tend to be the people that aren't listening to the rules. What do you think of that? Yeah.
I would have thought people under 14 would go back to school because, well,
It might be the other way, I'm not sure.
Early
I might have messed it up.
evidence has suggested that like kids have some kind of not immunity, but like are less open to catching this virus. So I mean, there's less risk at having smaller children going back to school. But I don't know. It's a tricky one because the younger you are in general, the more healthy you will be. The less risk there is of you catching this virus and not getting over it. You know.
Yeah, of course. Do you think
there's
they're
always
jumping
that
the gun a
risk.
bit, though?
I don't know. It's like that balance between risk and then getting the country and economy back running again.
It's true, yeah.
Probably, I mean, ideally they'd just keep everyone locked away for like a year, but that's not
Yeah. Yeah.
So possibly they are, but there has to be kind of some opening of the gates again. But yeah, I would have thought it would be with the younger children, the schools. But,
Yeah. I might have got that wrong way around. That might have been my fault, so I apologise. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. That's a sensible way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I think it'll definitely help as well with like if that demographic is the demographic that is not listening to the rules, then absolutely get them back in school sooner, because the sooner they're back in school, the less risk there's going to be. But I think it's more. No, go on.
If they're flouting the rules already, then like what's it? School is only from like 8 till 3 or whatever, or something around that.
Yeah, I don't remember school times.
So what's the stopping them from like socializing in school and socializing with their friends after school when they're going home? Isn't it kind of encouraging them to meet up with their friends and like spend some time?
Well, from what I have been told when I had the conversation with my auntie was that they're kind of planning on having like 1 year group come in for 1 week and then another year group in another week and kind of continue that for as long as possible. So it's kind of like that separation, but I don't know.
Imagine being on a day where where all your friends aren't in. A
Yeah, that'd be
logistical
rough.
nightmare.
Trying to convince the kids, just stay here. I don't wanna. So
Like a
it's
lot
not.
of parents will be fed up, like, oh, well, just keep them off. It's just, they're not going to get that education, that consistent education, if it's like, oh, you know, some of you come in today, some of you come in tomorrow. And...
Well, that's what I was going to ask as well. Is do you think it's sensible to go down that route right now? Like, yes, okay, we've hit the peak. That's great. But my view of it is like, if people have been tested and stuff and they've been found to have had it and don't have it anymore, okay, fine. But if people have been tested and they've not got it and never had it, do you think it's a little bit irresponsible, like sending them back out into the world already, like fairly early on, just after the peak, when technically they probably should have more time in between?
Yeah, well, I can understand, like, well, ideally I'd probably prefer a few more weeks, like, get past the peak, make sure it's going really, there's a great decline in all these figures. But I can see where they're coming from, trying to just open up a bit of the economy and getting things back running, some sense of normality, because these kids are missing out on their education, which is their lives as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's a tricky one.
Risk and the outcomes of it. We just don't know if it's going to be less risk sending schools back first. But yeah, it could be irresponsible. You could be right, but I don't know. I can see where they're coming from with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea, especially if like kids and stuff are already going out and not listening to rules anyway. At least they're going out for a somewhat respectable reason, you know, education and stuff, because it is important and whatnot. But I think I'm more worried about like teachers and parents and stuff.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
are they going to keep to the rules? It's such a tricky
It's
balance.
just going to be treated as, like, obviously they are still the key workers, so
Yeah,
it's just going to be the same. They're going to be on the same level as you know, frontline nurses and doctors, basically.
yeah, true.
They're putting themselves at risk every day.
It
to
is.
give children's education.
Yes. So thank you again to all those NHS workers, because
Yeah,
that
and
we'll
other
get on
key workers.
to another topic later. But yeah, no, absolutely. People that are working their ass off every day, sometimes without the correct PPE. Although I think that's mostly been resolved now, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no, it's gotta be scary. That's the thing, though, because from what I heard from my auntie as well, it's like they're not having like the full PPE still. Teachers are not haven't got the PPE.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well,
do you think they'll actually get it by the time? And again, this is just one school, by the way. I'm not talking about like every school, but this is just one school that
all it
is
takes
obviously
is one school, though. It's like, yeah.
yeah. So
Pretty much
do you
it.
think that that's something they'll get? I reckon they'll probably get it sorted if they are planning on opening the schools and stuff. That's probably why they've given it a bit of time. But
They should
what
probably
if they
have things
don't?
in place. You think they'd be prepared for something like this at this stage?
Mm.
And if they don't, then it's just another joke, basically.
It's another risk,
It's like,
another unnecessary risk.
the ones who will be saying this will be all fine, sat behind a desk, but not putting themselves on the front lines.
It's a difficult one.
Not fair.
Yes, it's dangerous. What about another like the other ones like salons and shops? Your opinion on that kind of thing? Because obviously we've got like the important like essential shopping, so we can do that still. But obviously having salons for haircuts and things like that.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't say that was necessary, but I mean, a lot of people would probably disagree because the people.
Well, we can all have different opinions. That's part of it. I mean, I would be on your side. I would say that salons are not that they're not important. I won't say they're not important because I think I think that comes under like your mental health then at that point.
Well-being.
Yeah, maybe, but not so much that I would say risk opening back up salons and stuff now.
On the same level as schools, and I don't think that's right.
Yeah, no, that I definitely agree there. I think it should definitely be left a little bit longer at least, if they're planning on opening salons anyway, because obviously we are going off speculation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the other one was shops, was it? Like.
Yeah.
Not necessarily food shops then.
Yeah, I would assume maybe corner shops and things like that. Maybe I'm not too sure. Maybe gaming shops. Yeah, clothes, gaming. That maybe I'm not sure again. By the way, for next week I will do a little bit more research into stuff. So it's like I actually have an idea of what to talk about. But
I'd imagine that'd be talking more about like clothes shops and things like your Primarks and your H&M and stuff like that.
No.
Which I think. I don't know, because if you go to Asda right now, or any supermarket, other supermarkets are available.
yeah.
No, hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored, yeah. I fucking wish, but no.
And then there's like, they've got all the clothes sections open in there. So like, if people are getting within 2 meters of each other in supermarkets and in shops where it's not necessarily as packed and crammed, and I don't really see too much of a problem as long as you can maintain the distance between people. Because
I think that's the biggest worry, isn't it?
Queue outside and stuff, if that's what it takes.
I think that's probably the biggest worry, isn't it? Like, social distancing and stuff is been the peak of what's kept everyone safe. So if you can keep those kind of social distancing rules in place, then crack on opening stuff up and opening up the economy and the world again. But if you can't, is it worth the risk of spreading it again? I think that's the biggest question it comes back to. I don't know if you'd agree on that, but
yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, you can get your clothes online. There are other ways to get clothes.
Yeah, maybe not the most ideal, but at the end of the day,
there are people progress demands sacrifices.
No, exactly. Yeah. So another thing about the lockdown is people getting fed up. That was something you suggested to talk about. Now I have seen quite a few places around America rioting. I think there was recently something.
Protesting.
I can't remember. It was like armed protesters that broke into like one of the actual government facilities or something. I apologise. I don't know the actual full details, so I won't try and speculate on that. But what's your kind of opinion on that kind of stuff? Like people breaking into like high government areas to try and get their point across of we're stuck being trapped inside and stuff. Do you think it's idiotic? Do you think it's understandable but still something that needs to be sort of pushed back?
I think it's idiotic. Definitely in that ground, because some things transcend your right to protest and stuff like that, like a national emergency.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. So anyone who's doing that, they're putting themselves and other people at risk, making the attention be on them rather than the issue, really.
Yeah.
And
Well,
fair enough, protest on from home. Don't just go out and do it. It's just
yeah. Because some of these
breaking into
groups as well
places.
have been huge fucking groups. You know, they're not small little. Oh, we want this back because our rights. It's like huge fucking groups
Yeah,
of people that are like, oh, we're not going anywhere, so you may as well do something about it, or we'll just
yeah.
keep rioting. I think it's
Well,
irresponsible, definitely.
yeah. They they should be protecting their fellow citizens if we're talking about mostly America here.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's like I don't know. Well, considering what the president is saying, injecting bleach and stuff, and it's not
Yeah.
surprising that some people are getting confused.
Well, this is something what I was also going to bring up because obviously we are, for those of you who couldn't tell, I'm from Wales, Sean is from England, specifically Manchester and Bridgend. But obviously for us, I think we've been quite lucky in this sense, with how our government reacted. So I know there are people out there that would disagree with me, but I don't know if you agree that we feel quite lucky and quite,
Oh yeah, very lucky.
compared to other parts of the world. So is it understandable that they're being like that, or is there a line in the sand where it's like, okay, you can be angry and stuff, but look, you've got to be responsible because other people's lives and things. Is there a balancing is there a humanity side to it that it's like you need to fucking stop it, or is it like that thing of you can kind of brush it off and go, well, I understand because something else or whatever.
There is no understanding people who put other people's lives at risk for their own personal gain. Really, I mean, yes, people are getting frustrated. It's a frustrating situation for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's the
No
thing.
one's needs are above other people's.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Everyone's kind of on an equal playing ground with that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think another thing we
Nomad.
could probably talk about is like the figures. I
Yeah.
guess. Do you think the figures are accurate, or like? I mean, I've heard reports of them being double what they actually are, the reported ones.
Yeah, well,
Especially in this
it's only
country.
recently in the United Kingdom that they're starting to implement deaths and things like that from care homes and actual, outside influences. Um, Honestly, my opinion would be that it's impossible.
Yeah.
And right now, it's impossible for the government to be able to go, no, we know exactly how much it is, why it is this, and thing. I think that's too much kind of like, oh, you should know this because you're the government kind of thing. They've got a lot that they're trying to work with. So I think, considering, because I've just looked it up, currently it's 3.4 million worldwide that are confirmed to have got the coronavirus, and 244,000 deaths, which is astonishingly horrifying.
Yeah. And our country alone makes up 10% of those.
Yeah, we are on. Apparently, currently we're on 28,131,
About 10%, if not a
which
bit
is
more.
quite a large chunk for the UK. So,
Considering
I
how
mean,
small of an island we are.
yeah, no, compared to the rest of the world, definitely, absolutely.
That would suggest there's an ill preparedness. It
Yeah,
probably
well,
was
definitely for
a real
London and things
life
like that.
savings.
London was absolutely, I think,
Oh
massively
yeah.
underprepared for it. I
They've
think
got
Wales
stuff
got
like the
very
tube
lucky.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, if you look at like kind of density of people per like square mile or something, I suppose somewhere like London will be far more people than Wales, like with more spread out and stuff like that. In general, um, obviously there'll
absolutely.
be a specific towns and cities where that won't be the case, but everything's always increased in London. Yeah,
There's always more in London.
try and give this a go.
Yeah, we'll give survival a go. But yeah, no, absolutely. It's a rough one, man. There's a lot going on, and to anyone that is suffering out there, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, there's the possibility of people being abused, that kind of thing. Definitely reach out for help.
Yeah.
If you need it, reach out for it. There's obviously been things like if you ring 999 but can't talk, you dial 55. That's all you have to dial, just 2 5s, and they'll come out and they will come out and see you and get you and help you. That is something that
Yeah,
the government have announced. So
those services are still in place for anyone who needs them. So like, it's silly not to. If you feel like you can't, you've got to.
yeah, you, definitely, if you can get help, do it. Yeah, if you can ring and do that, absolutely. Right. I think we're going to move off the subject of lockdown because we focused on it a very long time last week, and I think we need a little bit of happiness, a little bit of a distraction. Don't know if you'd agree. So we will move on to gaming. Okay, there's
Yes.
a lot to unpack for gaming this week.
Yes, it said survival game finder cancelled.
What?
Should we start off with the division then?
What are you doing? Right, hold on. I'll sort that out. But yes, gaming news. So, one of the biggest gaming news that has come out is obviously Assassin's Creed. And obviously Valhalla. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on it?
Very excited for that that Assassin's Creed. I mean, Vikings, assassins. Who doesn't? How cool does that sound?
I mean, this has been in talks for years at this point, like absolute years. People have been going, oh, they're going to do it, they're going to do it, they're going to do it, and they've never done it. And now it's like, holy shit, it's real. It's actually going to happen. So
exactly. I'm wondering. Obviously, it's going to be like a big open world, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, basically. I'm hoping there's going to be some kind of new elements in there rather than just like a reskin, I suppose.
yeah,
because they've covered quite a lot of eras with the Assassin's Creed series. This one has definitely been a niche, well, not a niche, a loss in the market, I suppose. It needed filling.
And it's been set in England, which is even cooler. So, like, what's your kind of opinion on it finally, and what are you most looking forward to?
We obviously had one of the Assassin's Creed was set in London. I can't remember which one.
Oh, yeah, that was Syndicate. Syndicate.
Yes.
Because they had the Jack the Ripper DLC, which
I've
still got to play through. I'm fucking behind on that.
This one will obviously be totally different. There wasn't really, I don't know. England was very different back then, basically.
Yeah, two very different time frames. Very different.
But yeah, I'm glad they're kind of choosing to focus there anyway. I'm excited to see what kind of Norse things they bring into it. And if they're going to focus on a bit of the mythology and stuff. And I mean, it's obvious that they are going to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
How far will they go into it?
Out of curiosity, what was your favourite kind? The old kinds of Assassin's Creed or the new ones? This is a really divisive one, apparently, to people, although I think the answer is fairly, easy.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I think the new ones are definitely better games.
Yeah.
But the old ones, it's like, you can't forget your roots, man.
Yeah. I would agree.
They were always enjoyable, maybe a bit repetitive at times.
And buggy and glitchy and fucking free running doesn't work very well in them, but, I have no grievance.
But you can't get over that Altair and Assassin's Guild and all this. It's like also, like that maybe has got a bit lost in like the newer ones.
Yeah.
Which almost seem a bit Witcher-like, just like too kind of.
I'll be honest. I would say that because I obviously haven't played much. I haven't played anything of Odyssey. I've got it, but I haven't played anything. So I'm only going through it. I'm about halfway through Assassin's Creed 3 now. But out of curiosity, is the outside of the Assassin world aspect of it? The fucking I can't even remember the name of it. That's how little interest I have in it. Like when you're actually playing as Desmond and going around and stuff. Please tell me there's none of that shit. I'm like, I don't want that in there. I don't find it fun. It's not enjoyable. I get it. If people like it, absolutely fine. More power to you. But fuck me. The Animus is the best part about that game. That's why it's called Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's still elements of that in Odyssey, like modern elements, because it's all about Assassin's Creed is all about kind of this
Reaching
going
your
back in time,
ancestors.
figuring out your ancestors.
Yeah.
I'm not with you, by the way.
Oh, for God's sake.
Uh,
That's fine. I'll sort it out now.
yeah, it's fine. I kind of forgot I was playing the game. It's really interesting. This.
Yeah.
Hey, I can at least watch you play it.
I can see it.
But yes, so there are still the story elements in modern days, but that has been kind of severely reduced since the first games, anyway.
Well, like,
And
oh, go on. Sorry.
it's not Desmond anymore. Obviously, it's just that kind of
Random.
more random people and playing with. I don't know. I kind of forget what
Yeah.
what the whole modern storyline is about these days. Oh, Templars versus
Templars versus Assassins, but it's like they go back through the ages, hence why they use the Animus to find like the Apple of Eden in the older games and specific items.
There's like
to
a
help
Sword
them.
of Eden, an Eye of Eden.
Fucking
They're finding more things of Eden these days.
dildo of Eden.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry.
That's what this new one is. The quest to find the dildo of
God,
Eden.
the dildo of Eden. Well, Vikings. I mean, yeah, why not? Yeah, they didn't give a shit. Yeah, no. Obviously, we've got the gameplay reveal now coming up in the next couple of days. Victor's went, James, no, sorry. We've obviously got the gameplay reveal for Valhalla, obviously coming up now in the next day or two. So that should be pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to that. I do think it's going to be pretty much identical to the other ones, obviously, like the newer ones. What would you like to see them do after it, though? Oh, go on.
Especially with all this like disruption that's been caused, I'm guessing it will be kind of a bit cookie cutter in places because they need to work with what they're familiar with to be able to work efficiently and fastly. Fastly? Is that a word?
Fastly? Yeah, we'll go with that. Fastly.
So yeah, I'm imagining kind of very similar to Odyssey in some regards, but it's all about the setting of these games.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like people. I don't know what the exact thing was. I think I've got to do this training bit before I can actually invite you to it. Maybe. I'll try and rush through it. Oh fuck it! Actually, I'll come back to this later. But yeah, no. I think it's the newer sort of RPG, big world kind of thing works a lot better than the old one. Definitely as well playing through Assassin's Creed 3 currently. It shows. The age shows. Jesus. But yeah, no, absolutely looking forward to that. It's going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing the gameplay. What would you like to see them do after this? Do you think for Assassin's Creed? Do you think that you should continue on with the format they've been going, or would you kind of like to see the series even knocked on the head and kind of done now?
I'd like to see him maybe switch up a bit, maybe make it more kind of, maybe try one with the old style of action adventure, a bit like kind of Uncharted style,
more linear.
More linear.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's risky. I think they found their calling now with this style, so
it's definitely proven to be more popular.
It'd be a bit stupid to suggest that they've got to do anything else than this, because you know what Ubisoft are like. They want to kind of stick to their formulas, and they know what works, they know what gets them money, and they know what people buy. So
yeah, that's true. They do indeed. They do indeed.
Ubisoft haven't really done like a full kind of story, like linear kind of game. I don't know. It seems to all be open world style.
Yeah, well, I mean, they found their niche with, what you call it? Obviously, they found their niche with the Far Cry series as well.
Yeah.
So there's that, which is always fun. So yeah, no, I'm very hopeful for it though. I think this one is the one they're going to have the most pressure on though, because let's face it, Vikings in Assassin's Creed has been fucking rumoured for literal years. Probably over a decade at this point. I would say, because I remember being back in school and talking about it and being like, oh, that'd be great, and it's just never happened, so.
Yeah. I think people who... I've seen a lot of people who aren't really interested in Assassin's Creed franchise, and they're interested in this one, because it just, sounds awesome.
Yeah. I think it has definitely divided.
Way on just word of mouth, I think.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, absolutely. I think it definitely has divided the community of Assassin's Creed though, because half people are like, go back to the old format, and then there's people like, no, stick to the new one. So It's definitely something that's been split in half now and made a lot more copious, I guess.
Yes.
Right, next game, Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's not much
right.
on it because we can't really talk anymore on Valhalla because we don't know anything more.
Yeah.
You know, it's very much speculatory and sort of known. But yes, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the final patch of updates and fixes and bugs fixes and stuff.
Yeah, I know this
What's
is
your
the final
opinion?
content patch. I don't know if it's the final bug fixing one, isn't it?
Yeah,
But,
they might.
yeah.
It's EA.
Hey, you can't say that anymore.
Oh, it's true. They did fix the
improved.
game. They did fix the game. Okay, yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2 specifically has been a journey from the start.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one game I was really looking forward to, and I played the campaign. I didn't hate it like a lot of people. I played through the starting few months where a lot of people really hated it. I think a lot of people got confused. Like, there was this whole kind of pay to win aspect, but it wasn't as pronounced as people were making it out to be. To be honest, I don't think. Obviously, there were mistakes that they made, and I know there's like the most downvoted Reddit post in history was made by one of the
Christ, yeah.
Something about pride and accomplishment.
Yeah, they were like, we like loot boxes. No, don't fucking say that.
It's been a meme ever since.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they've consistently updated the game with lots of new content.
Yeah, definitely.
Almost every month, to be honest. All for free. There has been some skins which they released as a new, fairer system of players paying for cosmetics only. And yeah, I feel like it's been confusing. Good, and I'm sad that the content updates are slowing down now or stopping completely.
Yeah, but why do you think they are? This is the question a lot of people have asked. Like, why are they stopping the updates? Do you think they're going to be working on because we all know that EA are heavily invested in their Battlefield franchise. But do you reckon they're going to make a Battlefront 3, like a Battlefront 3 third one?
Yeah, you say they're invested in the Battlefield ones, but they've just stopped support for Battlefield 5 now as well.
True, but they have announced the next Battlefield as well.
Oh, right.
For the next generation of consoles in 2021. So.
And yeah, I think there will be a Battlefront 3. There's got to be. It's very popular still. Star Wars. It's one of the only.
Do you reckon they'll get it right?
Star Wars multiplayer games that is out on the market right now. And I think they'll have learned from mistakes. Hopefully, I mean, we all hope. A lot of these games, Division, Destiny, they don't learn from their mistakes, but we'll hope.
Is it just? Oh no, it has put me in the game with you apparently.
I'm still in the cutscene at the moment.
I skipped it. Oh, there you are. Yeah, it actually worked. I've never done this, so I'm learning. But yeah, no. I definitely think it's about time they kind of stopped putting up to. I think it's a shame because I think there was so much more potential in it, but I think that's potential they should definitely carry over into Battlefront 3. And once they do Battlefront 3, I think that should be the last Battlefront that they should just focus on and really grind to keep updating it. But they'll probably not bring that out until the next consoles as well, I imagine, at least anyway.
Yeah, next gen now. They're saying the story is down to you guys now.
Yeah, literally. It's all left to you. You still can't do it, so you leave it to your fucking audience, you bastards. No. Disgusting. Right, okay. Next thing, obviously, what I wanted to talk to you about now. I haven't seen any leaks on The Last of Us 2. Any. I have made absolute sure I fucking stayed away from that shit. As much as humanly possible, because I don't want that fucking game spoiled for me. But what is your opinion on it and kind of the leaks and everything that's gone on? Do you think that's fair? Do you think they've been fucked over a lot, actually?
Yeah, well, I personally haven't seen any of the leaks either. I've heard that they're definitely there. They do exist. Trying to make it so it doesn't to me. But yeah, I've heard lots of reports are saying like there's getting a negative response from a lot of this stuff. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm sure it's Naughty Dog. They're not gonna release something that isn't up to their standard. I'm still really excited for it. I'm still gonna get it when it comes out, which has been earlier than anticipated.
Yeah, definitely. Which I'm glad of, but I think they did that earlier release because of the leaks.
Yeah.
I think they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And they just
Apparently
went,
it was
fuck it.
leaked by a source that wasn't Naughty Dog or Sony.
Yeah, because apparently everyone at Naughty Dog hasn't done anything like that,
Yeah,
so...
there's been a big internal investigation into who's leaked it. Disgruntled employee, everyone's making their things, their
Yeah.
assumptions with the whole, employees are not being treated right, this kind of thing.
Ow. Bollocks. Sorry. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it would be a shame to fucking have that kind of shit ruin what is essentially a very good game. And what is going to be inevitably be a very good game. I mean, Christ, The Last of Us 1 was superb. Played that game so many times through. And
Still
even the
going
outside.
strong.
Yeah, even the multiplayer to it was fun. You know, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but it definitely did what it needed to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oof. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you've never done this before.
Yeah, no, this is all new to me. I'm just like, well, what am I doing?
Just briefly, you're going to have to pick up anything you can find, basically, supplies. Then we're going to have to craft things when we get to the next safe house.
Ah, okay.
Just so you're not completely
just so I'm not completely useless.
Okay. And you get cold and hungry and thirsty and stuff like that.
Oh, God. Stuff that I'm, like, worst at. Right, okay. Well, now we'll get on to this bit. The Division. The game we are currently playing is Division 1. So, how are you feeling about Division 2 and stuff as the week has gone by? Do you still feel just as confident, or...?
I mean, I don't think my opinions have changed too much. It's just existing right now.
Yeah, it's just kind of clinging.
It's a bit of spark of life soon, but I think that's about it. I think you can take charge on this.
Yeah, I think I'm sort of in the same boat. I think it's a tricky one because you know, we can give Massive as much shit as we want. They're never going to care, never going to listen, so they're not bothered. But I think the biggest shame of it all is like why they didn't, because obviously playing this first one, Christ, you can tell like this one was made with more love and care in the end. But we shouldn't have to wait 3 years for the second one to get to the same space. Yeah. Like that's mad. I mean, and they keep using the excuse of, oh, we know we're in lockdown and stuff, and it's like, so are other companies, yet they're fine.
Yeah.
You know, stop making excuses and do something about it. To just get better.
I've marked somewhere for us to go.
Ooh, okay. I'll follow you. Apparently I'm freezing, that's fun.
Yeah, you want to try and get to some fiery spots, and I don't know where the hell I'm going to. But anyway, regardless of this.
Yes. And any other gaming-related news that you actually heard of, or anything that you want to talk about? Any games that you're currently playing, or anything you're going through that you're kind of like, ooh?
Well, I know we both recently downloaded Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You've obviously had it a bit in the past before, but I haven't really played it too much.
Yeah.
And I got it because I was just looking for something else to scratch that Tom Clancy itch, isn't it?
What's your opinion on that game so far? I mean, obviously right now we can't play it because shitty servers. It's only on PS4 though.
Oh.
Apparently it's nothing on the Xbox One or the PC. Servers are fine.
Yeah.
So it's just PS4, which is...
So they're obviously having some server issues right now, and it's an online-only game, so that puts it into perspective how you can't actually play it. You know? So that's getting a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but we'll try and forget about that for now. From what I played about it, it seems to be quite a solid game, to be honest.
Yeah, solid mechanics and stuff. Shame about all the microtransaction crap and whatnot, but...
Yeah, I haven't really looked too much at the store on it. Like, I knew it was going to be like that because I've heard reports about it and stuff, so I just choose not to look. Sometimes it's best to just not look at these things.
Yeah, distract yourself.
And yeah, so I liked Wildlands, which was the previous similar kind of style game to that, I suppose. So yeah, I don't see why I won't enjoy. I've only played a couple of hours of it so far, but I don't see why I won't enjoy this one, especially with playing with friends.
Yeah, well, I've been enjoying it. I mean, obviously, my previous experience of it on the Xbox One, playing it on your own is more like a time waster. You're not really doing the story. You're basically just playing to grind. If if you want to waste a couple of hours, it's a good game to do that with. But playing it with a friend, it does feel much more enjoyable, and it feels like I give a shit about the story instead of, sort of
feel like you're doing something.
Yeah, instead of just being like, it's all crap. So yeah,
Which it
no,
probably
definitely.
is.
Might be. It might be. I don't know, but it seems pretty good so far. I can't really give it too much crap because it does seem okay right
We like
now.
to give things a lot of time before we make up our opinions. Like we've put many hours into Division. That's why it might seem like we're moaning about it a lot of hours.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, as well, is like there's a lot of people that when they talk about Division and stuff, is they go, "Oh, stop bitching about it, stop whinging." It's not that we whinge or bitch because we want to. It's because we want the game to thrive, you arse-hats. It's why anyone... I mean, if you care about something, you get frustrated or angry at it. It's just, it's the human nature kind of thing, isn't it? Of that, I'm frustrated because I want what's best for it, but they're not listening. So, I think it's a divisive topic, to say the least.
Yeah,
but
everyone has their own opinions on games.
Yeah, I think with Breakpoint though, definitely what you said seems like a very good game. It's just a shame about the current server issues on PS4. Hopefully they'll be resolved by later tonight or something. But we'll see. We'll see. Anything else?
I was thinking we could maybe move on to TV shows that we may have watched, and maybe watch a discuss a little bit on.
So
unless you had any other games that you wanted to talk about.
I don't have anything in specific. The problem is that I haven't really done much. I'll be honest, I haven't done much research or anything for this week. I was quite behind, so I apologise. I was slightly behind this week on getting stuff I did want to, but next week, rest assured, it will be much more stuff, researched and articles and things like that I can actually talk about with you and
I wanted to talk about something that's took the country by storm during this lockdown, which is the Tiger King.
Ah, yes. I was wondering if we were going to get to this. No, absolutely, yeah.
The very iconic Joe Exotic, who's currently in prison for conspiring to murder someone, basically.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to break down. That is a huge series.
Yeah, there's so many things that go on. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what to talk about first. But I mean, so obviously they're all animal keepers.
Yeah.
What did you think of the series anyway? It's like just as a quick.
It was very well done. A lot of the actual people that were in it would disagree and say that it was a hit piece against them and things. That's a very controversial thing that we could get into. But no, absolutely. I enjoyed watching it. It was interesting to see kind of that world, and it probably doesn't give that world the best of names or the best opinions and stuff, but definitely an interesting character, Joe himself. The idea the idea that he would, that's as well, like the idea that this series blew up so much that Trump got asked to review his thing, which
he's asking for a presidential pardon,
which is mental. But I think he actually got sick, didn't he? Joe Exotic got sick in prison with COVID-19. I think I did hear that was on the bonus episode, I think. But I think I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But no, absolutely, very interesting series. Lots to break down. So where would you like to start?
Do you think he deserves to be in prison? Like personally, I think he does, but not. I don't think he's a absolutely horrendous human or anything. Like, 'cause I know they piled everything on to make it seem like he was worse than he actually is.
I absolutely think he should be in prison. There's no doubt about it. He killed 6 tigers for no reason. Yeah, for no reason. Other than that he didn't need them anymore, which is disgusting in itself. But
something I imagine a lot of animal keepers do, but they're not caught, basically.
Or maybe done around different channels. I don't know. I don't actually know how anything like that works in that world. But I would absolutely say that, yes, he absolutely should be in jail, but maybe, I would say,
Maybe he won't die in jail.
yeah, maybe not die in jail.
Yeah.
From what we saw, anyway. Obviously, there's probably a lot of research you could do behind the scenes that you probably learn a lot more and whatnot. But
Oh yeah, it's like all these series you can kind of do extra research, like Making a Murderer. Like
yeah,
there's stuff that came out that wasn't in the Netflix documentary. That's kind of substantial evidence as to why Stephen Avery is in prison, and he got the guilty verdict.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's a separate one anyway.
yeah, that's separate. But no, absolutely, I think Joe Exotic should be in prison, but maybe he should have his case reviewed and whatnot. I definitely the fact that if he did obviously plan to kill someone, then he absolutely should be in prison, and there's nothing that should change that,
Yeah,
but he
there's
should serve his
nothing
time.
right
But
about how obsessed he became with
yeah,
feeling like Carol Baskin was.
yeah, no. I mean, and
Satan.
he didn't exactly make himself look good either. On his live streams and stuff. You know,
No, he wanted to
he
be this kind of icon of modern times, I think, and he let his ego get to him,
yeah,
get the
and
better of him.
I think absolutely he did some horrific things, like things that should never be done from anyone, let alone an actual keeper who looks after these animals. Yeah, no, I think justice was served, but I think it was overserved. I think it was a bit over the
Yeah.
top. I definitely think there's some retrial and maybe re-looking into to do with his case, but whether
A
I
lot
would
of the people
say,
who worked for him said that he wasn't as bad as he's made out to be, but he definitely deserves to be where he is right now.
yeah, no,
So,
I would say
disagree
that
with them, the closest people to him.
yeah, well, absolutely. Now, something I will ask you about: do you think he started the fire and tried to blame Carol? Now, for those of you who don't know, there was like a fire. For those of you who haven't watched it, for a start, go fucking watch it. It's very, very.
Explain it.
It's a good thing. It's a very, very good documentary to watch, especially in times like these.
Yeah,
But
you
yes,
hit him always.
yeah. Do you think he started the fire?
I think it was him or maybe one of the other like comrades that he had at the time, because it seemed very convenient and a kind of removal of evidence kind of thing to me. But I think Carol Baskin wasn't that bothered. She's kind of protecting her own neck and willing to put all the cash on the line just to save herself. But yeah, so that's my opinion. I think they started it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Joe either hired someone to do it or did it himself. I think, especially with that recording of his lawyer. Not only is that illegal, by the way, for him to record that with his without his lawyer's consent, that's fishy in itself. Like, why would you record your conversation with your lawyer? Are you like trying to put him in the shit? Be like, oh, because his lawyer obviously went, you see what I'm saying? Like, trying to get across, you need to make sure that they don't, get you for it.
Yeah.
It's because he was like, oh yeah, they've obviously they've got no reason to sort of have you back or whatever. Like it does come across very, very bad looking for both of them. But yeah, no, he definitely didn't help himself in that situation at all. He definitely incriminated himself a lot more than he would have been if he hadn't done half of the stuff he had done.
Yeah.
I think he was a bit stupid. Very, very stupid.
Very fascinating, and everyone can have their own opinion on it kind of series. So I'd recommend anyone to go and watch it.
Oh shit.
Ooh, shit.
Oh bollocks. Sorry. Right.
I don't actually have any medkits to revive you right now.
Oh shit.
Do you have any medkit to revive yourself?
Nope. Bollocks. I might die.
It's alright, we'll play something else after this thing.
Yeah. Survive as long as you can, though. I'll wait around for you, obviously.
Maybe soon after, to be honest.
Right. Vic did put a comment in the chat. Do you want to read it?
Joel McHale got a lot of shit for asking in the episode he did if Joe Exotic should be in jail despite the 19 felonies and animal abuse.
Yeah,
So
he
that's the
did.
thing, like, you don't...
It's
I don't know if they actually mentioned half of that stuff in the Netflix series. So it's for the people who are getting like a glossy kind of outlook on what the actual events are rather than what the actual events are.
it's
So
definitely
that's the
one of
thing
those
with
things.
documentaries.
Yeah,
Like, is
it's
any documentary true?
well, yeah.
Always
There's always a
people making
bias. It's definitely a weird bias that you know is there
like,
for that kind of
people
stuff.
watch documentaries and figure out like they're like an expert, a genius on this case when they
Yeah.
really don't know half of the facts.
I think a lot of people actually gave him a lot of shit as well for the last episode he did because of the questioning and stuff like that. And it's like, well, he was literally sent a phone by Netflix and just told to question them. He asked what he wanted to.
Even jokes that he'll like never turn down any job for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the thing of like he made it very clear that he actually thought Jeff Lowe, who we will get into in a second, should have had some sort of repercussion for some of the stuff he'd done. But that was after the conversation he'd had with Jeff. Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of the characters in that show were far worse, or on a similar level as Joe, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people gave Joe specifically a lot of shit, but we're going to move on, I think, to the character of, as I just said, Jeff Lowe.
Yeah.
This man is fucking disgusting. I will happily say that. He is a pig. I think that's fairly obvious from when he goes, look at the fucking babysitter we got. Like, what's your opinion on him? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just... he said a few things that really struck a horrible chord with me.
I can imagine.
Like, obviously choosing the babysitter on the looks, and, like, his wife kind of grimacing through that, like, trying to put off the persona that she's happy with it, but, it really seemed like she's...
she didn't exactly seem over the moon.
He made a remark like, a little pussy can get you a lot of pussy or something, and talk about his cats.
Yeah.
Showing them to all the people in a way to get like women and people to sleep with him and stuff like that. It's like, oh,
gross.
He's the kind of person I feel like he'd throw anyone under the bus just to get what he wants.
Yeah,
he doesn't really form any human relationships with people. He just kind of
he's fucking foul.
Floats through life with money.
He is a disgusting human being. I can't quite understand how anyone could think he's a nice person. Maybe he has got a nice side that we don't see. Absolutely, I'm willing to admit that. But from what he showed us, he is a piece of shit. The way he treats women, and the way he just acts around the animals and stuff. It's sad, man. Like how he's like, oh yeah, no, these animals are great. They can get you so much pussy, and it's like.
When they're heavily drugged.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you broken? Are you fucking, what? Like, oh, I don't like him. Disgusting, man. Filthy bastard. Now on some of the other stuff with him. Oh, go on.
Vic said, I think people see them as characters rather than people.
Yeah.
It just seemed a bit like a fairy tale when you're watching these documentaries. They're so dramatized and like they are biased whether you think it or not. It's whatever the filmmaker wants to say, basically.
Yeah, it's tricky to keep it very separated.
The public want entertainment, though, basically. So if you saw something that's true to the facts, it'd be very boring.
Yeah.
Which are completely true. You need to kind of bend it a little bit.
Yeah, as one of the most famous people in the criminal underworld, a guy called Chopper said, never let the truth get in the way of good yarn. So
exactly.
you can always spin a story out of absolutely nothing. So
with every story, you need a bad guy, and you need a good guy, and you need a good story narrative.
He was absolutely the bad guy in that, Jeff, by far.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Because obviously there was a lot based around him, as well. Like a lot of shady shit as well with Jeff, especially the idea that he faked that he was rich to Joe, to help him out with like legal fees and money and stuff like that. What's your take on that? Because obviously there wasn't too much of a dive in on that stuff.
But... Yeah, because he wouldn't have allowed that. He seems like a very private person in that regard. Because that's the thing with these kind of, I want to say criminals, but I don't know what other word to use.
Well, he was a criminal, wasn't he? He was convicted in the past.
Some of them are smarter than others, and it's that will be the difference.
Yeah.
If they're caught in the end or not.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hidden stuff with him that he should be in jail alongside Joe, in my opinion.
Yeah. I could agree with that.
Probably done far worse things, to be honest, but just hasn't been the big ego behind it.
Yeah, he wasn't the one that was like focused on the most.
As I said, he'll throw anyone under the bus.
Yeah.
One of those people.
Yeah, no, he definitely feels like he would just throw anyone under the bus. Be like, nah, don't need you anymore. Bye. You know, it's like one of those things.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We gonna do some more daily stuff or a mission?
I went to do a mission.
Oh,
if you want
okay.
to join with that one.
Where are you? Ah, there you are. Okay. I will fast travel there in a moment. Okay, so what about John Finley? This is the first husband that he had who wasn't actually gay, has a wife now and a kid and stuff.
John...
So he was the first one that kind of in the actual series looked like a bit of a redneck crackhead.
Yeah, he's...
Which is a bit harsh, I think, on him. But
well, Joe was very specific in what he wanted. I think in his life, you know, he knew where people heads were at. And people obviously there's kind of a big drug problem with a lot of these people.
Easier
so
to control.
He would feed that desire in return for whatever he wanted, you know.
Which
so he definitely had a certain type of people, as shown with all of his husbands.
Yeah.
Young.
Impressionable,
attractive to him, and
definitely,
yeah, drug addicts.
yeah, not the greatest. But do you feel like he was a victim, or do you think he was just as much to blame because he was with Joe? And that's a tricky one to answer.
Probably isn't a saint, but I don't think he probably could fit in the victim camp.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like he, in my opinion, he feels like more of a victim than, you know, a lot of them. And obviously, you know, not to forget his other husband, who, unfortunately, took his own life. And although I find it interesting that in the documentary, the guy pointed out that he didn't actually think he wanted to do that. It was an accident. He thought anyway. Yeah. But, you know... I don't know. My opinion was kind of I don't know, you know, if he did it on purpose or not. I mean,
I
that's
feel like
a very
it was an accident. Because he didn't seem like the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I feel like it'd be something. The events that describes him not thinking that there's a bullet in the chamber.
Yeah,
probably be correct, but I mean, obviously, I don't know it. Exactly.
I think that's quite sad as well, though. You know, obviously to have some. You know, a very young, fairly attractive man. You know, in my opinion, he was a fairly attractive guy. You know, probably had a lot going for him if he could get off the drugs and things. You know, he could have done a lot. But I think it's
traps there. I think.
Yeah, I think that Joe definitely used their addictions to his advantage, which is disgusting in itself. You know. A lot of people say that addicts are to blame, and a lot, you know, partly, absolutely, but
if they don't have the correct help or people around them, then it's just
yeah, it's an impossible fight to win.
Never been an addict, but you know,
it's definitely, I would imagine, at least a very difficult road to go down, especially if you're having to fight and argue with them.
They spliced together some footage of him like saying, "Oh, you know, this is going to be the last time I do this."
Yeah, I definitely feel like they pushed a narrative
in advance of like him doing that.
Yeah, no, I think they definitely pushed the narrative in the documentary that he wanted to do that, which
Yeah.
I don't agree with. I think that's wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, again, it's just like making a story for your documentary, basically. I mean, they didn't say that's what happened. It's just putting it down
Yeah.
to the people. But
It's
they're
like,
trying to
oh,
just
it's
like
up to
put
you
it
how
out
it
there.
feels, but it's,
Yeah.
if it looks a certain way, of course there's going to be, the opinion of what you think, people
It's
think and
like
stuff. So.
the ending of Extraction. It's all up to you what
Yeah.
happens.
Oh, we'll talk about that as well because I actually really like that film. But yeah, chime off in the comments. What do you think? How was your opinion on it, Vic, specifically as well? How did you feel about it? What kind of opinion did you have on it? Because I believed we watched it together, a lot of it. But yeah, no, shame. It's a sad situation, but it was what it was.
Sad tragedy.
Okay, two more people. So Caroline herself, the Carol of who is now a meme everywhere. We'll go into the first one. The
So she has
alleged killing of her husband. Do you think she did it? Out of complete speculation, just for legal reasons, if anything ever did fucking follow us. No facts, just complete speculation. What's your take on her and her as a person and everything?
She's a very hippie, different individual. I imagine she'd just probably say a lot of things to incriminate herself. Like, really, the sardine oil thing just really didn't help her.
Yeah.
I don't know if she actually. I can't really say if she did it or not. But I mean,
a narrative is obviously pushed.
Narrative to spin, like how it would make sense, But
yeah, absolutely.
I'd need to be on the inside to really know that,
I would agree with that.
I'd like to believe she did it. It's like it would be very entertaining to know that she did it.
It'd be entertaining as well as like closure as well. I mean, the guy's family seemed very convinced that she was responsible. So, I mean, I don't know. So it's a very that is again a difficult thing. Excuse me.
It's all about your allegiances and the bias around it. So.
There are obviously things that would point towards her being guilty of it. The two files for divorce, the arguments,
changing the will and stuff.
Yeah, that to me seemed very sketchy, especially because when you're changing a will and stuff, you have to have an advisory. Two of them, in fact. But if that was the case, one of the advisories has to be him. It couldn't have been changed without his lawful ruling, unless...
In the event that he goes missing.
Yeah, unless something happened that he had specifically stated or had in proof and evidence and writing that he would allow her to change that. Yeah. But that would be very difficult to obtain and push in a court of law. The only reason I know all this, by the way, is because I watched a video on YouTube by a guy called Legal, an actual lawyer who watched it and went through all the legal stuff. So I learned a lot from it. I was quite surprised. But yeah, no, it was rough, to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Opinion on her, though, as a person? Take away, all the speculation of stuff, her as a person. What's your kind of view on her?
Not a woman I'd like to meet.
I think I said the same. Yeah. I think the one thing I did state to Vic when we were watching it was, she's so contradictory. She's doing exactly the same thing. They're in fucking cages. So it was very much, she's a contradictory woman.
It's like almost the best of the worst kind of sanctuary situation.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I don't at all think hers is the best, by far. But I definitely think maybe more rules and stuff. Vic said, we watched all of it together. I don't think he meant to kill himself because of how calm that guy, the guy he was talking to beforehand, and the shock immediately after. Apparently, though, Carol's former husband's lawyer stated that he was strangled in a plane and then dumped in the Gulf of Mexico. And Vic also said she thinks she's an idiot. That's fair. No, I mean, that's an interesting thing. That theory. What's your take on that theory? If the lawyer is saying that, but
surprise to me.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one. That's new. From what I can remember, anyway, from the series, I don't know that. Yeah, but I mean, if that is true,
that seems very dramatic.
Yeah, if that's true, that lawyer. That seems easy. if that is true, that lawyer shouldn't be talking about shit like that anyway, because it should be stuff that's been done behind the scenes. So naughty lawyer.
Also with the client confidentiality or something.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it is. That's. I think there are rules and laws behind what you can talk about, and if that isn't, as far as I know, that's not public knowledge, or shouldn't be public knowledge at least. I don't know. That's very. I've never heard of that one, but I mean, I'd say it's a fun theory. I don't think there's any truth behind that, personally. But I would absolutely say that, you know, it's if there's any viability to it, that it should definitely be looked into. Absolutely, I think the police should look into it. But
you strangled and
dumped in the ocean, yeah, off a plane. But how would you know he strangled specifically on a plane? That's his body is. It feels like that. If that is true, then that lawyer is definitely pushing an agenda. But yeah, no, I mean the guy in the onto the guy who obviously witnessed, bless him, the suicide of Joe's husband. He obviously said before it he didn't think he was meant to do it, because he felt like he was having a calm conversation of just him messing around. So, I mean, there is a lot of validity to it just to be an accident, you know. But was there any mental health stuff going on? Absolutely. I think both the husbands had a lot of shit going on.
Will fuel a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah, absolutely, they will. She also said, I was reading his cold case article. Fair enough. Carol also says that her late husband flew to Costa Rica to have sex while she was on her period. I mean, Carol made a lot of accusations about her deceased husband, obviously not being faithful. Kind of, what's your take on that, out of curiosity, then, Sean? How do you perceive those kinds of things?
It's hard to say, but you know, I wouldn't put it past him being unfaithful with the situation of how they apparently met.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If he's just driving around looking for someone, doesn't that show that he's the type of person who drives around looking for people?
Yeah, he doesn't look great himself, essentially, especially when he was dating people that were a lot younger than him too. I believe there was a big age difference between him and Carol when they first started dating. So, you know, it's not great for him, but no, I think there's a lot of confusing bits and bobs to that case, absolutely, and I think there's a lot of unanswered questions. I don't think we'll ever have an actual definitive answer, not unless they find like a body, or you know, have evidence to prove that maybe he just ran off, or you know, maybe there was more to it.
Turns up.
Yeah, if he just randomly turned up, I think he would have a lot of explaining to do.
Sorry, I got lost.
I got confused.
Yeah.
Oh god, that would not look good on him. He just turns up. I got lost. Sorry. By the way, this is all. This is all in respect. So anyone that's listening is like, "Oh, that's disgusting. You're making fun of that situation."
No.
That's not the case. It's just trying to make light of what is mostly a dark situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Not in a horrible way.
No, of course. As respectful as possible. Yeah, as respectful as possible.
It feels like we're talking with friends, because that's how we relax.
Yeah, exactly. That's what these podcasts are meant to be, especially in horrible times that we are in, and the difficult times that we are into. Right. Vic said, but of course, literally still more. But of course, she also states that it was a happy marriage and she was lost without him. Yeah, Carol was very flip-floppy. She would say one thing and then the next minute she'd be saying the complete opposite. She would never stick to one side. Again, whether or not that is validity to put the murder on her, I don't think so. I think there would have to be a lot more, unfortunately, investigate into it. Because at the end of the day, it's all well and good, like, turning and being like, that person did it. But then you've got to think about that family as well. If that family gets an answer that doesn't really have any answers, it's not going to be closure for them. You know, they're still going to be very doubtful and whatnot. A lot to unpack there. But there is one more person from Tiger King I want to talk about before we quickly move on.
Oh, yeah.
I shall find his name.
It's a bit dark.
The one that was a snitch. I can't remember his bloody name.
The one with the hairstyle.
Yeah, the choosing hairstyle. Where was he? I'm trying to find his name. I do apologise. That's why I'm not shooting or anything, or my screen's set. There. No, that was the manager.
The guy who rode off into the sunset on a speed
Yeah, that guy. Oh god, I apologize. I can't remember his name, and I can't find him. I can't find him on the
Very
IMDb.
badly.
I don't like him anyway, personally, myself. I think he's a little snake that. I think the idea that he got caught with that wild animal, the exotic one, obviously, and that's why he turned snitch because he didn't want to get in trouble for that. Honestly, don't believe it. I think there was more to it.
That whole thing with this kind of criminal aspect of it. People are smart, people are not smart.
Yeah, I think
We'll
he's
get through it by throwing people under the bus.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the more intelligent people that turned when he turned, and obviously he gave a lot of information about Jeff Lowe. Obviously, proving a lot of kind of those points of that Jeff is actually a lot smarter. James Garretson, that's the one, was the FBI informant. Thank you, Vic. That's the one. James Garretson, yes, interesting character.
Yeah.
What's your kind of opinion on him?
I feel like he's another one like Jeff Lowe who would throw anyone under the bus to get a sweeter deal for himself.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, if he did good and got the information out there, which should be out there, then that's just something that happened. But
yeah,
not respectable way.
Yeah, not a respectable way to do it, but definitely
necessary. So someone had to do it.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's what it comes down to in these kind of situations. After time, it seems to be very much kind of, and I don't know if you'd agree, but yeah, there has to be one person who's called a snitch or something just to get some form of kind of respect and an ending at least to all the shit going on. So yeah, definitely a dodgy character himself. I think he's got a lot of stuff to answer for, and hopefully
he'll always be just that snitch, I suppose.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing that worries me, see, is I think he knows so much, but he's only giving so much information, but people just go, oh, he's a snitch. So
he'll need to hold something back for next time.
He has a lot of fucking information, I think, that he should be, that probably hasn't given. And it's like, I think the FBI and whoever, should be pushing him a bit more. I feel like he's probably got a lot more information he's not given that he should give, so... but yeah, thank you, Vic, for reminding me of that. Thank you very much. Ooh, excuse you. But thank you very much, yeah.
Where that came out of.
Networking? It's got a trophy. What's this? What's this? Complete 20 missions as part of a group. I didn't even do that! Jesus, I barely played this game. Right, sorry, I got distracted.
Shall we move on from Tiger King on to films that we've watched?
Yes, of course. Extraction.
Start with Extraction.
Yes, I was going to say, let's start with Extraction. Your take on it, your view?
I enjoyed it as a brain switch off, kind of relax, have a drink, and watch it kind of thing.
Definitely.
I enjoyed the action parts of it. I enjoyed the style of the action, the way it was shot.
Yeah.
I don't think the story was anything to write home about.
Yeah, it was like definitely a generic kind of marine or
passable.
Hired gun goes after abducted famous person or important
Obviously
person child.
Chris Hemsworth, so what's not to love about that?
Oh yeah, true. No, that man. What a man! What a man!
What a man.
Yeah, no, definitely an interesting one for him, especially. I think because it's unusual, because obviously we're used to seeing him as Thor, and Thor has a giant hammer and smacks people.
So far.
Yeah, Thor has a giant hammer and smacks the shit out of people, but it's not brutal. Like, this was proper brutal at times.
It's very John Wick level violence.
What was your favourite bit from it, do you think?
Go
on.
I like the when they're kind of he's got the kid, and then they're both kind of fighting their way through the apartment blocks.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed that fight scene the most.
That was a very good fight. So, like, I like the way that it's so fluent as well. Like, I think you pointed out to me that it looks like one big shot, and my God, it looks like one big shot. It's so insane. It's done so well.
You're just on the edge of the seat because you feel like it could end either way at any moment. And
yeah,
the character's so lucky.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's
That's
definitely
got my
a...
favourite part.
Yeah, I think my favourite scene is the fight scene he had with the kids. just,
Yeah.
just the final piss off, just smacks him. It's like I have not cried so much in my life. By
It's
the
a
way,
cathartic.
it's definitely a film. If you switch your brain off, there's a lot of moments you will laugh at it that probably shouldn't be laughed at, but you know, they are undoubtedly enjoyable and entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same kind of situation with Geostorm, which I watched last night.
Yeah, what was your opinion on it? Because obviously I've seen that film, but what was your kind of... Do you think it was like a switch off your
I
brain
enjoyed
again?
it. It was a switch off brain kind of thing, deal again. I enjoyed it, and Gerald Butler's performance and stuff like that. Again, the story wasn't great, and I did laugh at a few scenes, especially when he's driving through Hong Kong, and the lava's coming up through the floor, and he's driving away. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Some of them seemed a bit like kind of far fetched. I like the idea behind it though.
yeah, it's
The whole
definitely got a good premise.
technology kind of controlling the weather side of things and going wrong. And, yeah, it had a good premise, but maybe not an amazing execution.
maybe maybe a little bit of improvement there, just a little.
Like a Hong Kong
Smidge.
man in a in a smart car evading this like lava eruption made me laugh so much.
Yeah, I mean, if it makes you laugh, that's probably one of the best things it could do, right?
Made me laugh because it's like ridiculous, but you know, at the same time, thrilling.
Yeah, it is an interesting film as well about like being able to control the weather and things. I find that to be quite a fascinating thing, 'cause especially since that's not too far fetched from what could possibly happen. There was obviously a project, a classified thing that got declassified that was proven that the Americans did for a very long time, for a couple of years, try to manipulate the weather, and they actually managed to successfully get it to rain more over the period of 3 months. So it was an interesting premise, but I think a bit over the top.
Yeah. The film obviously exaggerated that tenfold.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The lightning storm and all this stuff. It's very good.
Definitely, yeah.
Entertaining.
Film I watched, Knives Out.
Oh.
Good film, very good film. We just had a comment, Tiger Forever 1980X. What are you guys doing? We are doing a podcast, my good friend. It's a podcast that we're just playing a game in the background for the fun of it, but you know, Division 2 is a bit shit right now, so we're just going with Division 1. Yeah, just a random little podcast to keep people entertained. It's essentially what it is.
What were you saying before?
Yeah, no, I was going to talk about Knives Out. Have you seen it yet?
Directed by Ryan Johnson, I believe.
Yes, that's
who did
very
Star
good
Wars, one of the Star Wars films.
Definitely an interesting one.
It's got all the big A-list actors in it.
Yeah, it's got Daniel Craig and Chris Evans, who, by the way, fantastic in the film. Daniel Craig does a really good accent in it. It's a really different role for him as well. It's not like, obviously he's gone from James Bond to this.
Yeah.
Questionable, but it works. You know, it's very entertaining. It thinks it's more clever than it actually is. I'll say that much. Definitely.
Is it like a whodunit kind of?
Yeah, it is, but it sort of also goes off the beaten path. It's not as great as you would imagine, but it's definitely entertaining. And it's definitely put together especially well, especially when you got like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it, Jamie Lee Curtis, you got Jaden Martell, who obviously is one of the main characters from the first It remake film. He does a fantastic job in it. There's a lot of very good actors in it.
Like.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's a good actress in it, Toni Collette. She's very talented. I saw her in a film with Vic when we were watching a film called Mental. She very outstanding Aussie actor. Very good. Definitely an entertaining one to watch, I would suggest. If people are struggling, that's definitely one to look at. I believe it's out on early access, so you can rent it and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Actually, that's something I was going to ask you about, Sean.
Yeah.
Unless you finish what you were saying, if you were going to say something.
I was just going to say a lot of films are doing this kind of early release kind of thing.
What I was going to ask, what's your opinion on that? How do you feel like that's going to change the landscape for the future and stuff?
Well, obviously, because I feel like going forward, it'd be better to just it's the companies behind these films who have to just bite the bullet and release these things, which are already done, for people to view at home. Like the money they make from the cinema is obviously like the grossings for the film, because they don't really count on the DVD sales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really impactful for the film industry in general.
Yeah.
This specific time anyway, because obviously they won't be able to produce anything right now, but they'll be able to put things out there which has already been done. So yeah, it's going to have a difficult effect on it. Well, it's having an effect on everything, but particularly this.
Yeah.
Our entertainment source. God damn.
I think it's going to definitely change the landscape of it.
Yeah, it's made a lot of people think about their lives, I suppose, and what can change in going forward from this. What can we learn from it?
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, some spicy ones that we talked about then.
I feel like this is very juicy.
Yes, I finished obviously Afterlife season 2 and Sex Education season 2. Two my favourite series that Netflix have done. Obviously, Afterlife being the one with Ricky Gervais. Have you had a chance to? Have you watched either series
I've
of
seen
that?
some clips of Afterlife. Obviously, there's in the trailer. There's like the little ginger, isn't there?
Yeah, no, that is one of the highlights of the first season. I'll be honest.
And then season 2, I've had a clip of them in like they're in like this Pilates or yoga kind of room, and they're getting annoyed by the teacher basically. It was quite funny.
Yeah, it's a very dark series, but it's got a lot of realism to it and a lot of emotion and feels. I would go as far to say it's probably one of Gervais's best ever acting roles that he's ever had. Probably one of the best
Although I like
performances.
Ricky Gervais and his like stand-up stuff, I find that funny. But I've never really been into the series that he's been in, like The Office and stuff. I was never really into it.
Yeah, I never really got into like The Office and things like that personally, but Afterlife was definitely a very impressive turn that he took. So I would absolutely say that it's definitely worth a watch. If you haven't watched season 1 and 2 yet, go and watch it.
Yes.
A fantastic scripts and stuff that come with it, and they did season 2 justice as well. I was very worried when it came out that they were going to do season 2, because it was like, oh shit, they're going to mess this up, something's going to go wrong, they're not going to do well. Nope, they pulled it off. They did a very, very good job, so fair play to them for that. And Sex Education, well, I loved both series, but I fucking hate the writer. And he damn well knows it as well. The ending of season 2, he actually quoted in, well, I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember, and I'm not going to look the article up because it'll take me forever to find the exact one, but he said, I love being pissed off at stuff. Or she, I believe, it might be a she actually, it's a she, I believe. She was stating that she loved being pissed off at things, so that's why she's done it how she has. Fucking asshole. But exceptionally good. Very, very good at pulling your emotions, and very well balanced. There's a lot going on in that season, or that series in general, but she balances it with such finesse that it works incredibly well. So I would absolutely advise anyone to go and watch that, because it is outstanding. Both seasons. Very, very good. But yeah.
Like I've had a lot of recommendations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know,
plenty of stuff to watch.
Definitely something to watch. Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on as well. I mean, you know,
give us your opinions on it as well. If anyone has actually watched it,
if you actually go off and watch that stuff, let us know what you thought. Anything else that you wanted to touch on today, my good sir?
Well, there wasn't one more film that I watched the other day called is it trashy horror films that I kind of have a guilty pleasure for. It's called Countdown. It's about
right, okay, that's what I'm interested in.
An app that you can find out the date of your death, and then when that day comes, then you die. So it's very kind of trashy and ridiculous, but it's well shot, well made. I got a few laughs from it. It's one of those things where if I was about 17 or 18, I may have found it like a bit scary. But no, it's very funny.
Yeah, I have heard that it's meant to be quite ridiculous in its
Yes,
execution.
I mean, even the concept is just ridiculous. So yeah. I mean, it's only a matter of time before they start to get into the modern day of killer apps.
Oh God.
Because it's kind of started with the Japanese Ringu and the Ring American remake. So technology having
those films are fucking remakes.
Having capacity to kill you.
Yeah.
So that's this evolution of that, I suppose.
They're bad. the Grudge and the Ring remakes, like the Rings and the new Grudge, are just not good. They're not good, which is a shame because I really wanted them to be. But
I liked the Ring remake because of Naomi Watts for that, so maybe a bit of it.
The only thing I can remember from the Rings film that came out is the fact that one of the Big Bang Theory cast is in it. That's it. Like literally, that's it. Leonard. That's all I can remember from it.
I'd say they're one of the better horror remakes of that time, but maybe I'll go back and watch it again. Maybe have a bit of a different angle on it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Ooh.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour and
about an hour and a half. We've been doing the actual podcast for, because obviously we didn't start the podcast until a little bit later. But yes, anything else that you can think of, my good sir? Anything that you wanted to speak about during this time?
Quite a topic. A few topics this time. I think we'll probably save any more. We don't really want any more depressing.
Yeah, I think I have got a few things that Vic sent me, that 3 articles that we can go through a little bit quick. So the first one was it was on a website called Hull Live. It's nurse walks out of B&Q after witnessing coughing customers. Essentially what happened is this lady went into a B&Q, went in to buy some stuff. I believe, what was it? I can't remember. I think it was like a paintbrush or something that she was going in to buy. And she basically witnessed about 15 people crammed into one aisle, all coughing all over each other and whatnot. Apparently on the outside of the B&Q, it was perfectly fine. The lines were very orderly. People were 2 meters apart. Like, it was fine. But inside, it was like the rules weren't being enforced. What's kind of your view on that? Like, your take or your opinion? How do you, hearing that?
Anyone's view on it will probably be just no.
like that's just shit that shouldn't be happening. Because this comes back onto the thing of like there might be opening up more shops and salons and stuff.
Yeah, if you're not like deal with a situation right now, then how are you going to deal with it?
Yeah, exactly.
With all shops being open.
Absolutely, yeah, like that.
I'd say B&Q probably isn't. A lot of people going there probably aren't going there essentially.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of like, oh, well, we've got this, so we might as well use it. It's not closed, so we might as well all take our families. And that's another thing, like people going to the supermarkets as a family and not as just one person. That kind of annoys me as well. Because it's supposed to be like one trolley per person, and stuff like that. But you'd think people would abide by it and reduce the amount of people like, risking infection. But no, it's an outing because people are bored.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I would I would agree on that. Yeah, absolutely, I would agree. The next thing is on Nottinghamshire Live. Christ, I cannot read. I haven't actually read through this article properly, but I've had a quick glance through it, and basically there was a few. I apologise. There was a few naked bike riders that were going around. From what I gather, they were doing it as a part of a global protest designed to curb the car culture and wind protection for cyclists on city streets.
Wind protection.
The wind. Yeah, part of the global protest designed to curb the car culture and wind protection for cyclists on city streets. I apologise. Basically, Nottinghamshire police were asked why they didn't take action and stuff, but according to them, they quote, "Our actions at any instant will always carry a degree of discretion. In this instance, we recognise that the persons protesting were doing so in order to highlight an issue of public safety." What's your opinion on that? I know this is a very divisive time as well for this stuff to be happening.
It's not the ideal time to be doing it.
No,
basically.
this was on published on actually. Well, this was a year ago apparently. Actually, so this wasn't even in the time. But apparently this happened a year ago. Slightly off. I didn't realise that. But I mean, when it happened, they apparently weren't arrested because obviously, technically, anyone that's naked in public, you get arrested for indecent exposure. For anyone that wasn't very up to date on that, how would you feel if a bunch of cyclists came past absolutely naked and just
it depends how good looking they were.
yeah. Oh god.
No, seriously, I would be a bit put off by it.
Yeah. Not exactly great.
They shouldn't be exempt just because they're protesting.
Yeah.
But as long as they were doing so peacefully, they won't get in the way of anyone else. Then, if they were to arrest, then that would be all right, I suppose.
Tricky one. Is it okay to be naked in public? That's a question we shall answer next time on episode 3 of Mind of a Madness. The last one comes back onto like sort of the domestic abuse and things like that. This was also published in 2019, the 18th of November. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll end this on as much of a positive as we can. But of course, if you are suffering from any kind of, or if you know anyone that is suffering from any kind of domestic abuse, or you have any inklings, please let the police know. That's important. Don't try and hide it, or don't get hold of the police and obviously the law just because of COVID-19. It's important to still report this stuff. At the end of the day, people need to be looked after and helped. So. Please make sure that you're following that kind of thing.
And keep up to date on what actually is classed as abuse these days.
Yes.
Abuse isn't just physical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's many different types of abuse. It's very important that you report all of it. There's emotional, there's physical. There is a lot of different factors that you need to make sure that you are keeping on top of. Absolutely. So please, to anyone that knows of it, please report it and don't let it go without any justice. I think that's it. I don't think we've got anything else really that we wanted to focus on.
Any questions from the comments?
Yeah. Anyone want to? We'll give it 5 minutes. Anything on the trolley, dears? Give it 5 minutes. Is there anything you guys want us to talk about before we shoot off? I know there's only a couple of people in here, but you know. Vic, anything you want us to talk about?
I reckon it's because we're playing a less popular game at the moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think one of the people that would normally be in here is currently suffering from a very extreme headache. So hopefully she's feeling better soon.
Wishing you well, Robin, if you listen to this.
Wishing you well. We hope you're okay. Of course. So, yeah. It's tricky. Got so much to do in this game. Still on my one as well.
So much to do, but still little time.
You've got way more. Well, you've got way less incursions than I have. I've got to get all my fucking incursions sorted. It's mental. Mental,
mate.
It's mental, mate.
Resistance, which is the newest mode they came out with in Pier 93.
Yeah.
The carrier. There's basically endless waves of enemies.
Oh god.
An endless mode. There's plenty of modes that go in this game.
Yeah. And obviously I've still got to go through underground and stuff. Survival seems fun, but it's probably not something I'll end up getting that into anyway, so.
It's supposed to be a kind of an immersive, like realistic experience, I suppose.
It's pretty cool. Just not,
it's quite
not
cool,
my thing.
Yeah.
It's not my thing, admittedly, I'll be honest. But then I'm a boring fucker.
That's when I was kind of a bit like about the hunts. That game being a survival kind of thing. I know it's not like the food and drink. But it's like, do I really like battle royale style things? I don't know.
Yeah. Tricky.
Tricky.
Tariki Ariki. I'm gonna go to this.
I'm bursting for the toilet.
I know, I'm bursting for a pee as well. We haven't got that long enough now. Right. Okay. Nothing's come through. I'm assuming there's nothing specific that you guys want us to talk about, which is cool. That's fine, absolutely. Well, this one was slightly shorter than the last one, so that's fine, though. I think about 2 hours, maybe slightly under, is about the perfect time.
People don't want to sit through too long.
Yeah, exactly. It can be pretty fucking boring. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Remember, if you want to check the podcast out anywhere else now, you can. It is on Spotify, so just look up the Mind Over Madness podcast and you'll find it on there. To anyone that is listening to this or watching this on VOD, thank you very much for taking the time to do so. We know that these videos can be kind of long and we don't always talk about stuff that people want to hear, but it's important, man. It's important. So thank you to Tiger Forever 1980X, for joining us for this one, and also to Vic. Thank you for watching as long as you have. Thank you to Sean for joining me on this podcast as always, because he's a beautiful man. So yeah, have you had a good time? You had a good time?
Oh yes, definitely. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, so I think we are going to stick with doing just one a week, guys. We'll do them on Sunday, probably around about the 3 p.m. mark, but we'll obviously on the day keep an eye on social medias and stuff, just in case. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Me and Sean hope you enjoyed. We both desperately need to go. Yeah, we both desperately need to go piss, so we'll end this one here. But if you have anything that you want us to talk about, please let us know down in the comments, or get hold of one of us on our social medias, or even better, just throw it at us during the streams. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
And yeah, hope you enjoyed. So bye bye.